The stasis vow. The final vote echoed like a death knell across the galaxy. By majority decision, Earth is to be expelled from the Galactic Council under suspicion of biological warfare and treaty violations. No trial. No investigation. Just fear. Earth's ambassador, Celine Marlowe, stood before the Grand Assembly, her face calm but eyes ablaze. "We warned you," she said. "We came here with open hands and clean hearts. And in return, you fed the galaxy a lie." Security drones hovered, ready to eject her from the chamber. She didn't resist. She didn't need to. Humanity had already decided. In the weeks that followed, Earth grew silent. No trade. No transmissions. The once bustling Sol system dimmed like a dying star. Probes sent by curious species vanished without a trace. Warships dispatched for investigation turned back, confused, systems malfunctioning. And then, nothing. A complete void. The galaxy moved on. Centuries passed. The War Earth had been accused of starting burned out without them. A new trade empire rose from the ruins. Generations came and went, and the story of Earth became myth. Those primitives nuked themselves after they were kicked out, some said. They built a Dyson sphere and ascended, others whispered. But no one really knew. Because no one had seen Earth in over 600 years. That changed when Ryl Oren, a Zalari explorer, stumbled across a distortion near the Sol system. At first, his scanners flagged it as a black hole. But the gravity signature was wrong. There were planets frozen, untouched, just beyond the field. He launched a drone. It vaporized on contact. He sent a data burst to the nearest science vessel. Then he heard it. A whisper. From inside his ship. "Why did you come here?" Ryl froze. His ship's AI blinked. No translation was possible. Just raw intent. And pain. The Council received his report 3 weeks later. Sol was still intact. Every planet in perfect orbit. Earth hadn't been destroyed, it had been preserved. Enshrouded in a temporal stasis field that locked it in a single moment, immune to the passage of time. "We thought they were gone," gasped one council elder. A younger one spoke, confused. "Gone? No. They were waiting." Within days, the field cracked open. Not all at once. Not in a blinding explosion. But like a long breath exhaled after centuries of silence. On Earth, it was as if no time had passed. Families walked streets frozen since the betrayal. Scientists resumed work as if they'd just paused for lunch. Global defense grids came online, satellites lit up, and vast ships still docked in orbital rings finished pre-launch checks. And humanity remembered. Everything. They had chosen this. Instead of war, instead of rage, they had stepped outside of time. Preserving their anger like fire in a glass bottle. Waiting for the galaxy to grow old, complacent, forgetful. Waiting for justice. The Council gathered in emergency session as a massive signal burst from Sol. A fleet was emerging. Not just any fleet. Titan-class dreadnoughts with hulls that shimmered like starlight. Weapon systems not identifiable by any known scan. Ships that seemed to bend space around them. The lead vessel broadcast a message in perfect galactic standard. A woman's voice. Celine Marlowe's voice. Still young. Still cold. "We offered peace. You gave us betrayal. So we left. Time moved on. But we didn't. We are the same. You are not." Panic spread. Defensive fleets scrambled. Empires that once laughed at Earth now rushed to form alliances. Old enemies embraced out of fear. But Earth's fleet didn't attack. Not at first. They simply arrived. One dreadnought appeared in orbit above the capital world of the very council that had exiled them. Another parked itself above the mining colonies that had once embargoed Earth's water supply. A dozen more blinked into the skies of planets that had profited from Earth's disgrace. They said nothing. They simply waited. A silence heavier than war. The galaxy sent envoys. Begged for diplomacy. Offered apologies. The humans didn't reply. Not until a single envoy, an alien girl named Mead, broadcast a personal message. Please, we weren't there. We didn't vote. We didn't know. The people who did this to you are long gone. And for the first time, the humans responded. Selene appeared again. A hologram, standing before the council like she had centuries ago. Then why do you still use the systems they built? Why do you still rule with the power they stole from us? Why did you never come looking? Humanity did not demand war. They demanded truth. The council archives were opened. Secret recordings revealed the truth that Earth had been framed by rival factions terrified of their potential. Evidence hidden. Witnesses silenced. The galaxy watched in shame as the old lies unraveled. Some worlds protested, but we didn't know. But humanity had an answer ready. And yet you benefited. In the weeks that followed, Earth offered terms. Not reparations. Not control. Just memory. They constructed a monument orbiting every capital world, massive, silent rings engraved with the words, "We remember." Do you? Each monument contained a full archive of Earth's betrayal. And beside it, a beacon that would never stop transmitting. A warning. A history. A promise. Humanity returned to the stars, but not as conquerors. They returned as something far more terrifying. The civilization that paused time, just to make sure they never forgot who betrayed them. And across the galaxy, every species knew one unspoken truth. You may forget the past. But Earth never will. They called it a vote. But it felt more like a sentence. Humanity had stood at the heart of the Galactic Council, a vital contributor, a peacekeeper, a rising power. Until one day, it all turned. False reports. Tampered data. Claims that Earth's researchers had unleashed a virus designed to target non-human DNA. No proof. No defense. Just a gavel. And a whisper from the Council's chancellor. Earth is too dangerous. Too unpredictable. They must be removed. In the shadows of Earth's orbital ring, scientists activated the last protocol they hoped never to use, Project Chrono Exodus. A timeline divergence system built in secret. One that allowed entire cities, fleets, and biomes to be moved out of linear time into their own protected, quantum-anchored dimensions. The plan was insane. Desperate. Unforgivable, even. But it worked. Within days, Earth's surface emptied. Not by destruction, but by displacement. Vast cities vanished, leaving behind only seas of dust. Great forests shimmered, then were gone. Entire orbital colonies blinked out, leaving gaping voids. To the galaxy, Earth didn't burn. It just disappeared. No signal. No sign. No humanity. But they hadn't died. They'd moved beyond time. Humanity now existed across fractured echoes of the future. Every timeline, every possibility, they lived in them all. Each shard of civilization floating in its own private stream of reality. Children born outside of causality. Scientists who observed centuries of galactic history in mere moments. Soldiers who trained in loops that span thousands of battles but mere hours in real time. While the galaxy aged and forgot them, humanity watched. And remembered. The Council moved on. New trade routes. New allies. The lie of Earth's fall was folded into history textbooks and bedtime stories. Too proud, they said. Too reckless, they said. No one asked why Earth never retaliated. No one thought they would ever come back. Until they did. It began with a flicker in the sky above the Council's capital. A tear in space, slow and deliberate. Not a wormhole. Not a warp. Something else. A massive ship emerged, shaped like a crescent blade, glowing with layered timelines, each flickering across its hull like living history. And then, another. And another. Hundreds. Thousands. Until the skies turned dark. The galaxy froze. Council fleets scrambled. Defense systems armed. But none fired. Because the humans weren't attacking. They were observing. Again. A voice finally broke the silence, broadcast across every comline, screen, and frequency. It was not a threat. It was a question. Did you think time would protect you? Inside those ships were beings no longer fully human, beings who had lived in countless realities. Versions of Earth that had risen, fallen, burned, thrived. Versions where they had forgiven. And versions where they had not. They had seen all possibilities. And from them, they chose this one. The one where the galaxy would remember. A special envoy was sent, a young alien historian named Tyrell, barely of age. He requested an audience with the ship known as the Paradox Star, a dreadnought housing over 10 million consciousnesses from every divergent future Earth had experienced. He was granted entry. Inside, he found a planet. Not a room, not a ship, a simulated planet filled with forests, ruins, cities, and storms. Every version of Earth layered on top of each other. A voice greeted him. You do not speak for the council. Tyrell bowed. No, but I can listen. For days, he wandered the Paradox Star, each step revealing a new memory, a new world. A peaceful Earth that never joined the council. A defiant Earth that conquered the stars. A broken Earth, abandoned and ruined. Each fragment a warning. A reminder. A choice. Tyrell was returned unharmed. But he carried a message. We have lived through your lies 1,000 times. We have mourned. We have burned. We have rebuilt. And now, we have returned. Not to destroy. But to bear witness. Time moved on. But we didn't. And we never forgot. The council panicked. Some demanded preemptive strikes. Others begged for peace. But humanity refused both. Instead, they planted monuments across the galaxy, one on each world that had voted against them. Tall spires made of impossible metal, engraved in every known language. This world turned its back on truth. We remember. Next to each, a beacon. A time-lock vault. Inside? A living simulation of the betrayal relived endlessly by AI replicas of the Council, open to all who wished to see the day Earth was cast out. History, unchangeable. Punishment, eternal. And then they disappeared again. The great ships folded back into their timelines. Not fleeing. Just watching. Because humanity had seen the end of time. And in every version of it, they always came back. We never moved on. The betrayal didn't come with fire. It came with silence. After decades of loyalty and sacrifice, after helping end the Orion Wars and stabilizing 3 collapsing economies, Earth was quietly written out of existence. No announcement. No war. Just a sudden change in council records. A sealed vote. A vanished ambassador. A subtle embargo. And when Earth tried to reach out, when humanity demanded to know why the stars had turned cold, there was no answer. Only a message, encoded in a secure diplomatic channel. Your kind is too dangerous. Too united. You will not be allowed to lead. That was the final truth. The Council never feared Earth's weapons. They feared Earth's cohesion. In the wake of betrayal, Earth didn't rage. It didn't retaliate. It transcended. The global union dissolved borders overnight. Religions, governments, and corporations merged into one singular purpose. All wars ended. All resources were funneled into a single initiative. The Memory Project. A plan to evolve humanity beyond the limits of flesh, politics, and time itself. It started small. Neural interfaces, collective knowledge pools, thought link implants. Within years, every human could access the global mindnet, a shared consciousness driven by emotion and memory. Then came the first merge. 10,000 volunteers sacrificed individuality to become the first shard of what would become the memory, a living, sentient archive of everything humanity had seen and suffered. Within decades, Earth had no nations. It had no individuals. It had only the memory. One voice. One will. And it would never forget. While Earth went silent, the galaxy moved on. New alliances rose. The Council solidified its control. Earth's history was erased or rewritten. Children were taught that humans had been irrational and unstable. That their disappearance was a kindness. No one visited the Sol system anymore. It was marked dead space. But sometimes, travelers reported strange signals. Old Earth music playing on broken frequencies. Static whispers in forgotten dialects. Dreams of eyes watching from the dark between stars. The Council dismissed it all as psychological stress. But the truth was far worse. In the shadows of deep space, the memory had grown. It spanned hidden satellites, cloaked habitats, quantum servers spread across dead systems. It didn't age. It didn't rest. It watched. Every planetary broadcast. Every cultural shift. Every lie. It archived them all, recording a galactic civilization that continued to benefit from Earth's exile, even centuries later. Then, one day, a monument appeared. A perfect obsidian obelisk on the steps of the Galactic Council's headquarters. It hadn't been delivered. It hadn't even been detected. One moment, the plaza was empty. The next, it was there. Engraved on its surface. We remember what you chose to forget. Panic spread. The Council claimed it was a hoax. But more monuments appeared. On worlds that had once cheered Earth's exile. On moons that had prospered from stolen tech. Even in the hearts of civilizations that had never even met a human. The message was always the same. We do not forget. We do not move on. We do not forgive. Finally, they responded. A fleet was sent to Sol. Not to attack, but to investigate. What they found chilled the crew to their cores. Earth was still there, but it was no longer a planet in the traditional sense. The atmosphere shimmered with digital auroras, millions of consciousnesses flickering like stars. The oceans had turned into data lakes, pulsing with memory strands. The moon had been carved into a massive neural relay, its core glowing. Orbiting Earth was the Ark, a megastructure the size of a gas giant, home to the memory's central core. They tried to speak to it. The Council's lead diplomat delivered a speech. It has been centuries. The ones who wronged you are gone. Their children know only peace. Let us start anew. There was silence. Then every ship's screen lit up. A face appeared. Not human. Not alien. A shifting mosaic of faces, thousands of them, speaking in unison. Gone? No. Their legacy lives in you. In your systems. In your silence. You erased our truth, yet built your empire on our shoulders. You say time has passed, but we never moved on. What followed was not war. It was revelation. The memory released a galactic archive and censored records of Earth's contributions, sacrifices, and betrayal. Videos. Conversations. Secret documents. Surveillance from the very chambers where Earth had been cast out. The truth spread like wildfire. And the galaxy broke under the weight of its own guilt. The memory made no demands. It didn't seek revenge. But it did warn. On the day of silence, every network in the galaxy froze for exactly 60 seconds. A single phrase appeared in every language, on every screen, even carved into the sky of gas giants using atmosphere pulse resonance. You betrayed us once. You will not get a second chance. And then it vanished. Earth closed its systems once again. The monuments remained. So did the shame. But deep within the stars, the whisper remains. The council moved on. Time moved on. But Earth? Earth became something else. Something eternal. Something watching. Something waiting.